Hey everybody, this is Brandon Bakey from ProHomeVideos.com. I've got a tutorial for you. It's some basic Photoshop work, just a little design and some shortcuts. So here's the picture that we're going to start with, and here is the end result. I'm super sorry that you guys have to see this. That is something that will haunt you in your dreams forever. That is my dog Maddox. He is a creepy luck dragon. So that is what we're going for. It's some mask layers, some blending modes, and it's really simple and real quick. So let's go through and show you how to get there. So this is what we're going to start with. It's a pretty okay picture from the start, but a lot of detail in his hair and stuff that I just don't really care much about, and it'd look good if it was a little more saturated and contrasty. So let's start there. Down here at the background layer, if you double click it, it's locked right now, so if you double click it, that'll release the lock. Just basically is asking if you want to make it a new layer, and you say OK. So now it's editable. If you click that layer and then you hit Command J on a Mac or Control J on a PC, it'll just copy the layer. You can also right click on a layer and go to duplicate. So real quick way to duplicate it though is Command J on a Mac, Control J on a PC. So what we're going to use first to design is really quick. It's one of these blending modes. They're very easy, very fast, and they're really awesome, and I think they're really underused too. So what you need though is you need to blend it with something else or many other things. So that's kind of the trick. They don't really work if you're just clicking on one thing because it doesn't have anything to blend with. There's all different kinds of things in here. What we're going to use for this is the overlay. It's something that a lot of people use. It's really fast and really easy, and it's pretty popular. So if you go up to filter and you're on that top layer still, you're going to go down to blur. You're going to go down to blur and then Gaussian blur, and you're going to blur out that top layer. I would do something like 12 or 13 pixels for now. And what that's going to do is that's going to tell it how much to add this blending mode to the next layer. So you click OK, and then while you're on that top layer, you go up to those blending modes, you go down to overlay, and there you go. So you can see this is the original image, this is with the overlay. I mean, it's extremely saturated, you have a lot of contrast, and it also gets rid of a lot of that kind of extra detail. You can see how specific and fine those lines are, and then with the overlay feature it kind of adds to it. So, and it's got that nice blurred out for that's kind of how it's getting rid of a lot of that detail. So now we're going to add some masks to this. One mask that we're going to do is just to mask out that face and kind of get rid of the effect on a lot of the other stuff. The way you can easily do that is just by making a shape layer. So you can just literally create a shape over top of the face, and I'll show you in a minute how to make a mask out of it. But real quick, I want to show you a couple shortcuts. One of them is if you hold shift, so you click and drag to make your shape, and you hold shift, see it's making it a perfect circle. Without it, it's oblong. You hold shift, it's a perfect circle. Now that works for when you use free transform. It's going to keep the proportions, and also when you rotate anything, it'll go by 45-degree angles, so basically snap it into exact positions. It's very helpful. So that's shift. The other thing is if you hold Option or Alt in the PC, so click and drag, and see how it's going from the upper corner down. Now if you hold Option or Alt in the PC, it'll start from the middle. Okay, so here, let me show you. Say this is the middle of our face. Well, it's really hard to click and drag and make that exactly what you're looking for. So if you start from the middle, click and drag, hold that Option on the Mac, it'll go right to the middle. Okay, so that seems like it makes a lot more sense to me. Click and drag, and now say you want that perfect circle, you can hold Option and Shift on the Mac, and it'll make it exact perfect circle starting right from the center. So I think that makes a lot more sense. So we'll do that. Now if you hold Command or Control on the PC, you can drag that and move it around. So we'll say that's probably about good. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take that shape layer, you're going to drag it to the bottom. And then if you hold Alt on the PC or Option on the Mac, what you're going to see is when you go between these layers, you're going to see these two little circles. So if while that's a circle you click, it's going to force that into a mask. It's pretty cool, pretty easy, really quick. So now you've just made a mask out of this shape layer, and you can move that around, and I think that's pretty good. Okay, so now while that shape is selected, I mean, it's obviously some pretty there's some fine lines around here. It's real specific as far as where that mask is, so we can just go and do another filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And it's going to ask you if you want to rasterize the layer. You do have to rasterize it before you can add any of these filters to it. So you can say OK. The other way you can rasterize it is if you right click and just hit rasterize layer. So now you've got these lines. You can see that perfect circle. So we want to kind of get rid of that. So as you drag it up, it's going to be something like 50, 60. And you see how those lines kind of go away and it lets it blend itself into the actual image. So that's probably about good. So it's going to add that. And there you go, now you have your mask. And it shows that filter right through. Now we're going to do the text. The text is the same thing. So if you click up here and you add a new text layer, and this will be his name, which is Maddox. We can move this over wherever you want. You can make it vertical. You can, obviously do whatever you want. Whatever you want with the normal text layer. So, you're going to take that and you're going to drag it down to the bottom. So it just shows normal, it's not going to show through yet. Even, you can't duplicate layers within one mask layer. Like if you drag it in here, it doesn't actually work like that. So what you're going to have to do is you're just going to have to make another reference to this mask. And you do that very easily. You hit Command J on the Mac or Control J on the PC over that layer that you've already made into a mask. And it's going to make it again. And it's obviously not related to any masks yet, so I'm just going to drag it down above Maddox or whatever text you have. You're going to hold that Option on the Mac, Alt on the PC button again. And when you hover, you're going to see those two circles, and you're going to click, and it's going to make that a mask, just like you did before. So you just need a new reference for every single mask that you create. So you can make obviously however many you want. You just need to make sure you make a new reference every single time. So there's your image. There's, we went from just a very basic, nice little picture. You designed it a little bit. If you hide this top, that's the reference to the background, basically, on this. So if you get rid of that, you have one of the creepiest images. He just looks like a big old, chunky puppy. But you can design whatever you want back there because you did create full masks. So these are masked out. So you can put a whole new background in there. You want to make a button with this haunting luck dragon, you can definitely do that. But there's a million different ways to make masks. But this I just like because you can style it within. And you can see, like, the mask doesn't really show through that much. So you can see here on the ear, but you can also, you can add another mask over here to clear that up if you wanted to. But it just styles that face over top of everything else, and it makes the face pop, which I don't know why you would ever want to do that. But that is it. Let me know what you guys think. Please subscribe and watch the other videos and read the other blogs, and let me know what else you guys want to hear. I'm Brandon Bakey from ProHomeVideos.com, and thanks for watching.